Today we're going to be talking about the number one reason you might find you're getting exhausted in sparring or just training in general. What is happening that's not allowing you to feel in prime shape, even though maybe you're putting in the road work, you're putting in the hours at the gym? Today we're talking about breathing, really dialing in your breathing so your cardio feels fantastic. So while I've been waiting for my next fight camp to get underway, probably sometime in March by the sounds of things, I've been taking some time and doing some Zoom privates with a bunch of awesome people. And I was working with somebody the other day looking at some of his fight footage and going, he looks like he's more tired than he should be. And I talked to him and it went, okay, you're doing the road work, you're putting in the training. And we started talking about his breathing. And this is a conversation I've had with many people when I spar with them, and I notice they're struggling with their cardio, but I don't really understand why, because I see them putting in the hard work in the corner, I see them hitting pads, everything looks good, and then they start sparring and they're so fatigued. Breathing. It is something that we just take for granted because we do it all the time, and coaches never really talk to their athletes about the proper breathing style, when you should be holding your breath, when you shouldn't be. So today I'm going to cover as much of this as I can in whatever this episode turns out to be, 7 to 10 minutes most likely. But before we get to all this important information about how to increase your cardio, potentially without even having to work harder, I want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this episode, XMartial. These guys have some fantastic gear on their website. I've been rocking their shin pads so much lately. They're my new favorites. I have lots of others, but they're the ones I now exclusively use. You can grab gloves from them, rash guards, apparel, all sorts of stuff. You can head over to XMartial.com, which will be in the description below. You can just click on the link, head over. You can use the promo code Gabriel Varga to save 10%. If you're in need of gear, I highly suggest you head over there because you're going to find something, and I've been thrilled with all the products I've received so far. Now, returning to breathing. What I really want you to wrap your head around is you could be the best shaped person in the world. But if you've never tried this before, walk up a flight of stairs holding your breath. And by the time you get to the top, assuming it's more than 10 stairs, we're talking like 20, 30 stairs, you're gonna be dying. And what a lot of people forget is to do the proper breathing as they're going through the motions of striking. So let's start off first, before we get to defense, let's start and talk about offense. And let's sort of establish why maybe people yell when they hit. Number one, there's science behind releasing energy, and yelling can increase power by a very, very small percentage, but apparently it is there. But in my opinion, yelling every time makes you inhale in between so you can get to your next yell. If you yell, ha, and you forget to inhale very quickly, you're going to run out of air. And again, I know this seems like something which is just very easy to do. You're going, why is Gabriel talking about breathing? I breathe since I was born all the time. But there's normal breath, and then there's high output, high level sports breathing. And a big mistake that I see people do is not have it controlled. So for instance, I could be punching and do a bunch of long breaths out as opposed to short ones where I'm inhaling, exhaling, exhaling. And when I was watching this guy the other day, during the Zoom private or before the Zoom private, I was just looking at him fatigue so quickly, and I went, something has to be wrong with the way he's breathing. It's got to be something along those lines. Now, I quickly want to jump to defense. We'll return to what we're talking about right now, most likely, but I want to turn and talk about defense because I've sparred with guys in the past and noticed that when they go on defense, when I start hitting them, noticeably they hold their breath. And again, you can't make it very far holding your breath, but you might think it's a good idea because you're going, oh, I'm getting hit, I'm going to tighten up. But that's not the case. As I defend, I'm actively, I'm doing that same thing. If I'm about to get hit in the stomach, it's breathe, but then in very quickly. Because nobody's going ba-boom when they hit you. It's one, If you tighten, you're safe, you inhale, and then they come to the next shot and you can exhale. So if somebody's hitting your stomach, you're going getting that breath work down. And there are ways to increase your lung capacity through proper breathing drills. I already have a video made on that. You can check that out up there. But the big thing I want you to be keeping in mind is having the appropriate breath for the appropriate time. So when we're on offense, we're we're yelling, but we're inhaling in between. When we exit, we slow down our breathing. We're trying to recover. When we go on defense, probably back to the short little breaths. And then when we're on a break in between rounds, starting with slow, controlled breaths to try and lower our heart rate as quick as possible. So if I come back and I'm going and I continue that, it's going to be very difficult to recover. But if I'm breathing fast and I do a couple, little pause, I do something like that, your recovery can just be that much faster because of a couple simple deep breaths with a pause. I really believe that getting your breath down, whether it's in a long run or when you're being explosive on the bag, learning to control it, learning to almost manipulate it to what best serves you makes a massive difference. And I've seen people, many people who have tried to push harder and harder and harder in the cardio department, lots of running, lots of bag work, pad work, trying to get improved endurance and conditioning, but still struggling. And sometimes I just go and I wonder, I don't have a perfect answer for this, but I wonder if something is wrong in the breathing department. If when they go for a run, they're taking breaths that are too long. It's like, and they're holding for a little bit too long in between. And again, it seems like it might be something that's so simple that we just should be able to breathe without thinking about it. But actively try and focus on your breath work. And you might find you are pleasantly surprised with the increased cardio that comes from that. I actively am always thinking about my breath work, especially when I'm in recovery mode. As soon as my workout stops and I go to recovery, right away, I'm trying to slow my heart rate and maximize that break that I have before it's time to head back out. Really work on this. I think anybody out there who's hoping to get their cardio from here to even there will notice a difference when you actively put some thought into it. Aside from that, I don't really have any other thoughts to share with you guys today. Be sure to check out the video where we focus on the deep breathing in and out. I think that'll help your lung capacity and could benefit you in the cardio department. Be sure to check out XMartial in the description below. Give the website a look. Find some awesome gear there. If you haven't already, please give the video a like. Of course, join the channel, get subscribed. Train hard, work that cardio as always, but get that breath work built into it as well. I will see you guys back here soon for another video.